Welcome back to the Power Breakfast show, and after that beautiful music, we want to take the conversation today being Thursday. Of course, we're talking about everything that will help you in terms of business and investments, and you know, making the right decisions as far as some of your investments are concerned. And today we're talking about the housing industry. Is it good or viable for you to buy? Is it viable for you to rent? Are you going to be renting the rest of your life? Do you want to buy now? Do you want to save in a SACCO so that you buy a housing? What are some of the options? And we're going to be discussing that. I have a panel of two experts here, and I want to ask them to introduce themselves.
Simon Gugumugai.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maina Samuel from Uridi Housing Cooperative.
All right, so there you have it. And of course, it being Thursday, we have the one and only Patrick Gunza, aka Yegus, aka Head of State.
Thank you very much for that introduction. And today we are a bit formal.
Yes.
Because the rains have not permitted us to go
outside.
Yes, yeah. So we'll try and keep it as formal as we can.
Yes, so
because again, we are talking about a very pertinent issue here. Housing. You remember in the Constitution, housing is now a right. And but then again, what is it that needs to be done to ensure that almost every Kenyan has a decent roof over their head? Those are some of the issues that we will be looking into, and also, as you put it, the viable options that we do have. So people can start sending in their questions and comments in regards to this particular issue. As always, Willis, the number is
22422. That is our SMS number, 22422. To ask any question you have, or even if you have views about the housing sector in Kenya, go ahead and talk to us. And also on Twitter, make sure to use the hashtag Power Breakfast and at Citizen TV Kenya, at Willis Saburu, at Kirigo Ngarwa, and at Patrick Igunza with an H. All right. So yes. So maybe the first question would be, what, in your estimation, is the analysis of how is the housing sector doing in this country? And we can start with you. Then.
Yeah, the housing sector is actually doing very well, and actually people are talking of a boom. There are many opportunities, and we are seeing constructions going on throughout the country. The issue of county has also expanded the view of the housing. People are now not looking at Nairobi only. We are looking at the whole country, and we can say there is that too much activity, which is positive activity to this country, and we are doing well. Yeah.
Yes, and also to add on that, you realize that the demand for housing is escalating by the day. Today we estimate between 200,000 houses needs per year, and also the growth of the economy has brought in the middle class at 6% GDP growth. That tells you that there are so many people who are coming into middle income bracket. That also means that the consumption and the lifestyle change comes into play. That also means that in this sector, the demand is so high than the development sector can meet, and therefore is a very pertinent question today when you ask ourselves, how should one own a home in the current economic setup? So the situation is very promising if only some few issues can be mitigated upon by the government, and also the sector in real estate, like the cooperative movement that I represent, will do well to showcase the best way to mitigate on these issues. And we have come up with various products and various approaches of the same by providing affordable housing to the masses and to the ever-increasing population. If you look at the demographics, it shows that the population is bound to increase by 7 million in the next 5 years and into 17 million in the next 15 years. By the time we achieve the Vision 2030, the population of this country would have increased by 17 million. That shows that there will be a lot of uptake of houses, and indeed the consumption of these products in the sector will be very key.
Okay. And of course, interesting that you mentioned the word affordable housing, and we have an article in the Daily today about Acting Lands Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i saying that yes, it looks like the housing is affordable, but what about those people who are the low and lower income earners, those who have maybe housing allowance of 6,000? Like he was asked, the question he asked actually is, and if I quote, he says, all I can see here are houses for the upmarket. And what happens to that person who is earning like 6,000? What happens? What
I think it's a crisis. It's a crisis because if you look at the employed population, almost 80% cannot afford the homes we are calling affordable homes. It's a crisis in this country, and I've not seen a company per se that has, or the government that has come up with the real solution of affordable. Because all that we are seeing, like NHC, they have addressed the walling. They have not addressed the foundation, they have not addressed the roofing. So it becomes a crisis that these people cannot afford. But as a company, Fortcom Holding, we have thought of it, and we are doing something. What we are offering is not really a solution, because we are hoping that there will be a solution better than what we are offering. But we are trying to reach where probably we can.
Yes, let me also hasten to say that the issue of affordability is relative. When you say affordable, does not necessarily mean cheap, but we are looking at what each person can get in their current status. The housing segment of the cooperative comes up with tailor-made solutions to this that affords you a chance to own a house over a period of time. And through the cooperative movement, we have SACCOs, and SACCOs will help you to save small amounts over a period of time. Number two, at Urithi, we try to bring on board investors to bake this cake together over a period of time. In that case, we don't sell you a finished product, but we involve you from the very beginning, from the onset, so that progressively you can see the growth, the development of your project, and we tailor-make it to suit your pocket. We do that by making it very low, because you know the factors that determine the cost of a house is the cost of land, the cost of construction, that is labor, the cost of material, and the type of finishes. Like they rightly say that the devil is in the details. The better the finishes, the cost of the house. If you are able to do standard houses, if you are able to bring down the costs of construction by mass producing the same. Mass production, and we get this in a cooperative movement because we have many people doing houses. We are able to bring the cost so low because we negotiate the construction for several units. Under Nyumbamia flagship project, which is associated with Urithi Housing, we endeavor to make 100 units per month, and we are able to negotiate with the contractor at very considered bargained prices. And then number two, we are able to help our members put in some small amounts of a period of time, and those who are able to put in some small amounts will finance. The money will be revolving over a period of time. In that case, there will be no need for financing or borrowing.
But when you talk about you are able to negotiate low prices, what figures are we looking at here? How low is low?
Well, that's very tricky, but essentially, like we have in a one-bedroom self-contained unit going at 1.2 M. That is with all the finishes and the other conveniences. We also have others, two-bedroom at 1.5, and we are still looking, we are still researching on that. Like my colleague has said, the challenge has been, there are some things that you cannot negotiate much about, like the roof, the materials that you're going to use, they are almost standard. We are able to cut down on financing aspect, which is a very key aspect of construction, and we are also able to negotiate on labor and also on land. But we are still yet to come up with good ways of, navigating some issues to do with finishes. Most people would want to have a house with tiles, with expensive paints, the kind of ceilings, the kind of doors and fittings that you put in. Those ones are very critical. But basically, we are able to lower it down to an average, an average level.
Okay, thank you. And we know, Bona Simon, that housing, the shortage bites more at the lower middle and the lower segments of the market. Is there a way, or how possible is it to come up with a housing unit that's less than £1 million for most of the Kenyans?
Yeah, in Fortcom we have tried to do that, and what we are trying to do, we we have formed a SACCO, Fortcom Holding SACCO, and people are actually saving in that SACCO, and actually we are encouraging purchasers to co-own like a quarter of an acre. They are two, so this reduces the cost of purchase of land, which is a serious variable in constituting the final price. We are also encouraging them to actually save, to continue saving, so that we don't borrow, so that we reduce the borrowing component, so that at the end of the day we come up with a more affordable house that has no many costs. The also issue of timeline, we take time before starting the construction, so that we allow the purchaser to save enough so that he doesn't over-rely on the borrowed funds. We are also looking at various change of mind. Many people believe that they must be in a house that is finished with the imported tiles. We are telling people that red oxide is a home also. We have seen this in Zimmerman or wherever. Even you have lived in a red oxide house. I'm very sure about that. When he finished campus, that was his first house. We are also looking at the finishes. We don't get substandard finishes, but we get local quality finishes that are affordable. We try to reduce all these components, so that at the end of the day we come up with affordable home. In Fortcom we have come up with a concept of Gishagi design. If you look at it, there are many people in Nairobi here who live there in a 3-roomed house. 3-roomed houses are bedroom this side, sitting room here, kitchen and toilet outside, and they are very comfortable there. So I don't know why they don't believe that they can live the same in Nairobi. So in Kitengela, Isinya, we have a project like that, where you will have that homestead sort of, which will actually come up with the costs. The unit component, the house component, will be less than 700,000, and the land is like 300 or 400,000. So at the end of the day, you come up with a home of 1 million shillings. So you can start from there and actually improve that house to now become the modern house with all other features included.
And there's a question here that I think maybe we can start talking about that is on 2242. If somebody's asking, do I mortgage, quite simply, do I mortgage or build my own? What are the dynamics around that?
Yeah, I think mortgage is good for those people who want to own houses immediately. Like in building, will save you a lot in terms of interest. I don't know whether I do it in mathematics.
Yes,
sort of.
Go ahead. Okay, you come and stand here. I guess I'll go. I'll now sit and be a student.
Yeah, I can be a teacher probably. So you see that most of mortgages you will be required to pay 20%, 30%. Say a house in Kileleshwa, Lavington is going for 30 million or that kind of stuff, and if it's 20% of 20 million, we are talking of 4 million.
20%
of 20 million.
20%
of
20 do that million. Mathematics.
We have to say that most students are no good.
Times 2.
Yes.
All right, that is 400,000.
Is it?
400,000.
20%. 20%, yeah. 400,000.
20% of 20 million.
Yeah. Oh, 20 million.
4 million.
4 million.
4 million. Yeah. Yes, 4 million. Yeah, 4 million. This is what you put down. Then you borrow then 16 million. So I'm a professional borrower. I've borrowed several times. I know 16 million you will pay around 200,000 per month.
In terms of interest.
In terms of interest plus the principal. So you will say 4 million plus 200,000 per per month. You will multiply this, let's say, by 2 years, for example, 24. I know the mortgage will go for 20 years. Lakini I want to compare this with the owning a home. But just a component of principal, 2 million in 24 months. So you multiply this and get what?
2 million.
200,000 times 24.
Yes.
200,000.
He's a mathematician.
Times 24.
Yes.
That is 4.8 million.
4.8 million.
Yes.
So if you look at this, so in 2 years, one person require 4.8 plus 4. So we are talking of 8 million. 8.8 million. Yeah. 8.8 million. So in 2 years, Raburu, you have 8.4 million that you need to continue living in Kileleshwa in an apartment of 20 million. But for me, I choose to go to Rithi with 8.4 million. I find the MD of Rithi, I tell him, in 24 months I can raise 8.4 million. How can you help me? They are willing to help you, probably. Even in Fortcom, we are willing to help you. See that he has just said that with 1.2 you get 2 bedroom.
1 bedroom.
1 bedroom. What are 2 bedroom? 3 bedroom?
1.5.
1.5. With 1.5, you get 2 bedroom.
Yeah.
So if you double this, is 3 million.
Yeah.
You get 3 bedroom. What about the size of an acre?
The size of
Quarter of an acre,
yeah.
or something. 1/8 what of an acre.
Yeah.
1/8 of an acre. So you find that probably in 2 years, if you talk to Rithi or Fortcom, you will save. You will continue save. You forego the comfort of living in your house for 24 months. Save 4.2 with Fortcom or Rithi, then they will help you actually with the same amount own a home without borrowing. So you just forgo, you just continue renting. Probably you need 4.8 plus your rent wherever you are. So you find that it's cheaper for you to build than to. So from now, you have now the 3 million home. You have 3 million homes with clean title. So now you can now use this now. You can sell this. He will tell you that in 2 years, if they are selling at 3 million, today, in 3 years, it will be 6 million or 4 million.
Appreciation in value.
So you can still go again if you want to go to Kileleshwa. You can still sell this and have a 0 interest on this and continue. Or you can continue owning more. At a certain time, in 20 years, if you continue owning these homes of Rithi or Fortcom that are not on mortgage, you don't have that stress. You have your comfort. In 10 years, you'll be having like 10 houses or whatever you can sell and now go live in Kileleshwa without any mortgage. This person in Kileleshwa will continue paying 200,000 for 24 months, and he will have very little to show.
Interesting.
So, in essence, you're saying it will be important for people to consider building their own homes or saving for a while just to buy a complete house, as opposed to going to a financial institution to secure a home loan.
You need to sit down with a serious firm like Fortcom Holding or Rithi, my friend here, and start saving. We normally teach people how to save. You save, so that at the end of the day, you don't have that stress of a mortgage. Imagine in the 5th year, you lose a job. What will you do? Probably reselling that home is a problem. And also, getting this 200,000 per month. How many people can raise 200,000 per month?
That's the question.
So, if you are paying 200,000 per month, it means now your salary is 3 or 4 times this. So how many people can raise 600,000 who are being paid 600,000? I don't want to ask you, Sarah, but I know the 200,000 actually we are not targeting actually Kenyans. Most of them are foreigners or the PhD holders who are. But for a common person, a person who is earning less than 30,000 salary. So thinking about this, you are wasting your time. Thinking about Kileleshwa, you are wasting your time. Come talk to Rithi, come talk to Fortcom. We will show you how to come here without struggle. You can save as little as 5,000 shillings, 10,000 shillings, and actually move on.
Okay, but is it Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to illustrate something here.
Oh, okay. Let me go back
for your information. If you look at the parameters that dictate the cost of house, is the cost of land, the cost of labor, and then the financing aspect. If you give land 30%, but depending on where the land is,
location,
you realize that most people, especially those who have been brought up in rural setup, want to move from tarmac to the house. But the longer you walk away from tarmac, the cheaper the land. So if you are able to walk 2 kilometers, you are able to save quite an amount. So the location of land here is very prime. If everybody wants land in a radius of 5 kilometers from Nairobi, they must be ready to pay that extra cost. That is very key, where you get the land. Number 2, of course, in a cooperative setup, here we make it low because of economies of scale. Labor, you are able to negotiate a bigger package for many people. So you are able to cut down on cost and to move many units. Financing, if you are to buy a finished product, it therefore means that 30% will be the markup for the person, for the developer. The developer will put 30% markup, and we have a financing of about 28 to 30%. So by the time he is availing this house, it will be at 60% over and above. All right?
Yeah.
And then you go and get a mortgage. By the time you get that mortgage and you finance it at another 30% over 15, 20 years, again you see that that house will be out of reach. So why do we come together and develop the unit together? Is because we want, like in our case, the markup is not a requirement. So as a cooperative, you meet the needs of your members. So this one will not be a requirement. The financing is yes or no. If you cannot finance, you save with a SACCO, and it will give you at an interest of 1%. Already print a SACCO will give you at an interest of 1% per month. And then you are able to pay whatever you used to pay as rent to service the construction of the house. So it depends. If you are talking of 1.5, you just need to save 500,000, all right? And you are given 1.5. You get that house and you continue paying whatever you used to pay, but while living in your own house.
All right.
I want to.
Kirigo
my question is, you know, if we're going to buy a house worth 1.5 million, chances are it is not in Nairobi. It's in the outskirts of Nairobi, right?
Yes, yes.
So shouldn't I just continue paying rent then, if that makes it easier for me? Because I'm also thinking of the cost of traveling from wherever I'm coming from to get to Royal Media Services. Yeah, that means my fuel costs go up a notch.
You'll allow me to answer that.
Okay.
Like you said, the components of land, the availability of land and labor and financing, these are the main components that we address. Like we have addressed your issue. That's why we have come up with this in Dagoretti. Dagoretti is very, very near. The issue of land, we have negotiated on land, and also we are trying to see how we can get the bigger the better. It's still a big challenge in Dagoretti, but the issue of labor, also when people are coming together, they build together, it becomes easier. What we are doing here is that we are bringing purchasers together, they bring their money together, we build together, so it becomes cheaper. And financing is also zero because our purchasers have come together, they are actually paying the contractor themselves. And that's why we have managed to come up with these apartments, which would go ordinarily in the market at 30 million. We are capable of selling at 15 million.
Well, okay, I agree with you and I see where you're coming from, but I think it's also a personal choice at the end of the day, because, you know, think about it. Someone might want to live in Dagoretti and will be fine with that. There's another person who will think, no, that is not where I want to live. Sorry, quickly.
Yeah, a solution to that, Kirigo, is that we have a model called Own a Room, where we just construct that house at your most convenient place in an apartment setup. whether you can own that conveniently. But of course, there are those people who would want to live on a standalone unit. That's why we are going to far-flung areas.
But both of you being in the industry, the housing industry, are we going to see a point where, you know, the prices will come down? Because really, housing in this country is not affordable for most.
Yes, that is what we've been working on a daily basis. We are still researching on that, and we are coming up with more cost-effective methods of constructing houses. And we are hoping that in the next 1 or 2 years, we'll even lower the prices to affordable rates.
Okay.
Yes, I don't find the price going down. Like in Kileleshwa, you find now a house going for 10 million. It's not going to happen. What is going to happen with the new infrastructure, you start seeing people change their perspective, the understanding of the whole thing. We want to see people living in Emali and working in Citizen TV in City Center. That way, they will change the component of land, where they will go in an area where the land is cheaper, and the housing will be more affordable.
Hopefully the infrastructure to transport us from
the coming, the speedway is coming, the roads are there, and everything is happening.
All right.
There is also a school of thought where housing should not be left to the private sector. It should solely be looked at as a social responsibility, especially from the government point of view. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it should, but you find that the speed by which the population or the development is going, we are ahead of the government. So we are still to see the economy actually improving to a level where the government takes over the housing sector. You find that they are still not yet done with the health sector, the transport sector, the security sector. So I think the housing will come after all those
a bit later.
Is there a group, and we were having this discussion earlier, is there a group that, because of their status in the community, and there is somebody who's saying they earn 20,000 Kenya shillings per month, and they're tired of paying rent, and we had that discussion, and we're thinking, are there a group of people who will just always be paying rent because they can't afford?
Yeah, I normally say that paying rent is a health issue, and anybody looking at saving on rent component is actually a lazy person. Actually, rent is paid by a hard-working person. And actually, I do not encourage people to run away from rent, because it's a bit hard to run away from rent. But I encourage people in investing in real estate. So you can reinvest. There's a difference between investing in real estate and saving yourself on rent. If you buy a house in Kileleshwa because you're working in Citizen TV here, or Kilimani here because it's near the station, and you're transferred to Mombasa, will you go with your house? So the house becomes irrelevant, and you can now. So what I normally tell Kenyans is to think of investing in real estate as opposed to chasing the rent component. Because if I remove the rent component in your budget, it will not change your life so much. So if I had time, I will demonstrate to you the person paying rent and the person actually investing in real estate. If you think of investing in real estate, it's different from investing in saving rent.
Yeah, we're told we have 2 minutes, and you can explain that for us.
Okay.
We go back to
probably what we are saying here is that there is someone who wants to save on rent, and now he goes for a mortgage. Rent in upmarket area in Kileleshwa is 100,000. It's 100,000. This is what you want to save. But instead of using Kileleshwa, let me use the common market. Rent in Dagoretti Corner is 30,000. So this is what you want to save. And by way of saving, you go to Urithi and buy a home in Thika, which is 30 kilometers, 40 kilometers, 50 kilometers from here, where you will pay rent. No, we will pay transport, extra transport from wherever you are coming to this place. So what we are doing here is that you will find that the Urithi will tell you probably to pay a deposit of let's say 500,000, and you'll find this is not possible for you. So you will continue paying rent because you are not you cannot raise you cannot afford 500,000. So what we are trying to say here is that finally you will get a mortgage probably which will will be for 3 million for Urithi housing, where you will pay per month around 100,000. So you will pay 500,000 plus how much do you pay per month?
30?
Around 50.
50, yeah.
No, around 7. It is 100,000. You will save. So this is what you. This times 20 years. 20 years times 12.
20 times 12. Oh yes, 240.
240. No, this times 240 months.
240 times, yes.
Times this.
1, 2, 3 is 24 million.
24 million.
Yeah.
24 million. 24 million. So you'll find that you will be saving this 30 minus here. So you'll be actually be paying more than the 30 for 24 months.
Yes.
You'll be paying double for 24 months.
Yeah.
I choose to continue paying 30 and invest, start saving in Urithi. 30, no, it is 30,000. 30,000. I want to be a tenant, a professional tenant. I pay 30,000 for 24 months. Okay.
Times 24.
No.
Saving at Urithi.
Yes.
That's 720.
120.
720. Yeah.
Then we say here, you take the Urithi savings. You say 30 plus 70. You are both paying. This 30 plus this is 100. This is 100. This you are paying mortgage. This is you are paying to Urithi. How long will it take you to own a house in Urithi? Less than 24 months. So in 24 months you will have gotten a house in Urithi, and here you are still continue paying rent in Dagoretti Corner. You have an investment of 5 million with Urithi. This person is still here. If you do your mathematics, by the time you are 24 months here, you have 3 or 4 properties in Urithi valued at over 50 million because they appreciate in value than paying here. So I would rather be here. I would rather be paying rent instead of tying myself on a mortgage. You find that the appreciation of a house in Kileleshwa in 2 years, 3 years will be actually 3 or 4%. In Urithi, if you buy that house at 5 million, in 2 years it will be 10 million. I have bought a property in Isinya where within 1 year it is 3 times what I bought.
Initial price.
Personally, I'm a tenant.
A professional tenant?
Yes, I'm a professional tenant, and but I have so many properties that I can live in. But because of proximity from the city center, instead of putting my 20 million in apartment in city center, I would rather have an rental apartment somewhere, earning me.
That's earning you cash.
A person in Karen with a home of 50 million is paying service charge plus the security of 60,000 per month, while 50 million in Dagoretti, I can earn 600,000 per month without
any struggle.
All right, it's been pretty informative, and it's a conversation that I think would go on the whole morning. A lot of interest has come up on social media and SMSs, and we'll try and see whether we can have another session where we'll sit down and continue with these discussions. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us. For joining us this morning on the Power Breakfast Show. Gentlemen, thank you for that informative and editative piece. We will call you, of course, later, a bit later, so that we can continue with this conversation. And remember, you can continue the conversation going. The hashtag is Power Breakfast on Twitter. Would love to hear from you. Would love to engage with you, so keep doing it. But on behalf of everyone who does this show, who is part and parcel of this show, my name is Kiri Zangara, wishing you a fantastic Thursday. Keep warm, be kind to one another, and don't forget to smile. Igunza, final words?
The final words is that they say in real estate you don't have to wait so that you buy, you just buy, and then you wait for that value to appreciate it. And so that is the word that I will be leaving with you. Always a pleasure having you on this show. Will it?
Yes, nami kama kawaida ningependa kusema shukran sana kwa wale wote wamewezesha kwa breakfast kuwa success. All right, thank you guys for watching, and remember to continue talking to us. I'm seeing so many questions on 2242 asking for where they are in ETC, and we'll give this to you so that you can get in touch with each one of these people. And then also remember, tomorrow is a wonderful day. We're having Mulembe.
Oh yeah.
Sijui kama iguza pia utajiunga nasi. Kesho ni Mulembe.
Yeah, I have
kula inaitwa Ingoho, Omusuma, Mrenda, Izo,
Amaduma, Yogo, Vindu Vyosi, Vikirusha, Mgamba, Kumehana.
That show tomorrow. My name is Willis Saburi, reminding you as always that successful people look like you, and despite yesterday, Manchester United. Have a good